Next up today, we've got an old school, kicking it old school. Like, I'm talking, you know, early 90s, mid 90s doping thing, potential alleged doping thing.
Maybe.
Are we entering Dane's doping dungeon?
We're entering Dane's doping dungeon. Dane, what is going on in your dungeon these days?
Doping's always going on in my dungeon. And in this instance, it's potentially happening. This is all very potential, possible.
Yeah.
In Herentals, in Belgium, where the public prosecutor is looking into a potential medical malpractice situation with a possible doping element from a doctor with a general practice in Herentals, which is a small city east of Antwerp. It's probably recognizable to cycling fans because in my mind, like 110% of injuries that happen in the classics, you end up at the hospital in Herentals. That's where you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
Or if you're just a Dutch or Belgian rider who happens to be hurt, you end up getting surgery there. I think Eddie Merckx went there when he crashed.
It's like the
Like,
broken
this
collarbone
past year.
capital of the universe.
Yeah. And also, there's apparently a general practice doctor who, according to Wheeler Flitz, formerly tied with a professional bike racing team. Is the individual is under investigation, and Belgian police raided 3 homes, including this person's home, in the area, looking for who knows what in relation to this case, which again is a possible doping element. We just don't
looking
know.
for drugs.
Drugs, doping paraphernalia is that's my favorite way of describing those things. Yeah, are they
Needles,
drugs or are they just
syringes.
needles? Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the moment, very few details other than the fact that this doctor is apparently connected to a team in the past. The fact that it is in Herentals, which is a big cycling place. We're just sort of waiting on more information. The Belgian police apparently did collect some things in their raids, which will now be analyzed. So keep your eyes peeled for more. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's a big nothing burger. Or it's not. We'll find out.
Or it's everything.
They always collect something, right? Like, remember when Bahrain
You've
kept
got to.
getting... Yeah, like, you're going to
You've
take
got to
some
collect
laptops
something,
or
otherwise
something.
you look like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, when Bahrain was getting raided, which nothing ever came of any of that, right? And there's been some strange stories about how that even came to be. Yeah, they collected things, right? And that was in the headlines. They collected things, and then it turns out what they collected was just apparently absolutely nothing. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. It's a little nostalgic. A little mid 90s doping dungeon action. You know, the sport, I wouldn't say needs it, but has been through it before.
Do you want to know what else is in Herentals? There's a chocolate factory that is the only production facility in the world for Milka's Leo chocolate wafer bar.
Ooh, which
How
are
did
delicious.
you discover that?
Wikipedia. I've not been. Maybe we should go to Herentals when we're in Belgium just to see. I kind of just want to see the hospital.
We'll be relatively close when we're coming from the Skelter Prize start to the finish, right? So,
like, what snacks are on offer in the vending machine in the Herentals inpatient reception?
Do we think that we could get like Dane? You want to like break a collarbone or something, and we just head up there and?
I mean, I've been tasked with riding the cobbles all week. You know, that's my job, and there's a great chance. There's a great chance.
Riding your bike for work.
That on the Roubaix cobbles, that's going to happen.
That's true.
That's a real possibility.
We did have, I think it was a broken collarbone. It was a wing of some sort. There was one of our members was in a sling for much of last year. So, you know, did he get to go to
put that on me?
We should ask.
Find out.
Can I request it? I'm in the ambulance.
Yeah, tell us about the Herentals broken collarbone experience, please.
That's how we find out how good our trip insurance was. Because if you're getting transported to Herentals, it's like you got the top of the top there.
I could just imagine like being in that, like talking to that Belgian EMT, and he's like, you know, well, we're taking you to the hospital in Kortrijk. No. We got to go to Herentals.
Imagine turning up there like day 2 into the trip with a broken collarbone. You're like, oh, you know, yeah, this sucks. Like, my holiday's kind of ruined. But then you're like, but on the other hand, I do get to have like a guided tour of this hospital I've heard so much about, that my heroes have traveled through with their ailments.
Yeah. The only time I've ever been to a medical facility in Belgium was when James crashed on a scooter at the start of the Tour de France and busted a bunch of teeth out.
Is that where that photo is from?
This is the Cycling Tips era. Yeah, and I think we got the only 2 EMTs in all of Belgium that didn't speak English, and so like it was my like horrible French trying to get James to a hospital.
Oh my God.
Anyway, let's not repeat that. That's why we
No.
have travel insurance now. All right, so we'll keep you updated on whatever's going on in Herentals.
We'll go check it out. We'll go do some bins in Herentals when we're there.
Yes, do some. Just knock on some doctor's doors, see what happens. It's like people always like, oh, you got to ask the hard questions, and you're like, that doesn't do anything. When you ask people questions, they could just lie to you. Do people not realize that? Like if you say, are you a dope doctor? And they go, no.
Oh, okay. Well, you said no, so yeah. All right,
doesn't really work.
We're done here.
Doesn't really work that way. Anyway, let's move on to the next on our list here.